If you walk around Westminster, you'll see many churches, but none like this. With its colossal pillars and square towers, St. John's looks more like, well, furniture more than a church. Today we're diving into the incredible story of this Grade 1 listed masterpiece. From a costly construction project under Queen Anne to being gutted by the Blitz, to its rebirth as one of London's most acoustically perfect concert halls, this is the fascinating life of St. John's Smith Square, sometimes called Queen Anne's Footstool. Designed by Thomas Archer and completed in 1728, St. John's is considered one of the finest examples of English Baroque architecture. But let's address the elephant in the square, those four corner towers. Legend says that Archer asked Queen Anne what she wanted the church to look like, and she petulantly kicked over a footstool and snapped, like that, and so it became known as Queen Anne's Footstool. A more factual explanation suggests that the towers were an architectural necessity to stabilise the heavy structure on the marshy Westminster ground. And a fun detail, look closely, the towers are crowned not with crosses but with pineapples, a symbol of wealth and hospitality in the 18th century. This building has had a remarkably accident-prone life. Just 14 years after it was consecrated, a major fire destroyed the interior. Later, it was struck by lightning, and in 1913 it was even the target of a suffragette bomb plot. But its darkest hour came during World War II. On the last night of the Blitz, in May 1941, an incendiary bomb reduced the magnificent interior to a burnt-out shell. For over 20 years, it stood open to the sky, a magnificent ruin. In the 1960s, thanks to the tireless work of a group called Friends of St. John's, the building was saved from demolition and restored as a concert venue. This was a stroke of genius. The high ceilings and the original architecture created a spectacular acoustic space. In 1969, St. John's was reborn as a world-renowned concert hall. Today it's home to Sinfonia Smith Square and hosts an incredible roster of international orchestra and soloists. It's truly a unique place to experience music. But wait, there's one more surprise. Head down the spiral staircase to the crypt. Unlike the main hall, this part of the building survived the Blitz, retaining its original 18th century brickwork. This atmospheric vaulted space is now the Footstool restaurant, where you can dine before a performance right beneath the main hall. Now it's time to bring all this history and drama into the page. Watercolor is a perfect medium for this building. The way the light hits the grand facade, it demands a treatment that's both delicate and stark. My first step is always to get the atmosphere down. For the sky, I'm applying a very light, quick wash with ultramarine and an almost invisible wash of ochre and cool grey across the paper. This also sets the stage for deep shadows to come. St. John's is capturing the monumental scale without losing the detail. The most prominent feature, those massive pillars, are all about light and shadow. You can see in my sketch how important it is to get the perspective of the steps and the columns right. It's the contrast between those sunlit faces and the dark gaps that give the facade its incredible depth and classical drama. Without that deep shadow, they would just look flat. Look at the canopy of those trees. They are essential to the composition. They frame the church, and more importantly, they cast these fantastic sharp shadows that slice through the steps and all the columns. This is where I get to be a little bit more expansive. I'm using a mix of Van Dyke brown and a deep viridian green. Keeping the pigment quite rich, I'm letting the paint bloom a little, mimicking the organic, irregular shape of the leaves and the way the shadows fall unevenly. These shadows serve a double purpose. They are the contrast to the creamy white stone, and they subtly hide the more complex architectural details, forcing the viewer's eyes to center on the composition right under the portico. I'm adding the people and final lines of the dark wooden frames and the windows. The tiny dark shapes are the punctuation marks that define the scale of the building, and of course, the four corner towers, the footstool element. I'm ensuring the feel of the heavy grounded and subtle nod to the mastery of the ground and the church that it was built on. And finally, tiny brushstroke of Van Dyke brown for those charming little pineapples at the top and on the sides of the columns. They're a playful little secret, a symbol of hospitality that survived all the fire, the lightning and the bombs. So next time you're in Westminster, why not take a detour to Smith Square? Whether you're here for the architecture, history, or world-class orchestra, St John's is a testament to London's resilience. Thank you for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments what iconic building you'd like me to explore next. See you on the next one.